Good evening, I'm Nidhi Razdan. On Left, Right and Centre tonight, another landmark judgment by the Supreme Court, which today opened the doors of the Sabarimala Temple to all women, ending a ban on women between the ages of 10 and 50 because they menstruate. The reactions to the judgment, though, have been mixed, leading us to ask whether faith and reason can coexist. Well, for centuries, women of menstruating age were not allowed to enter the Sabarimala Temple as its deity, Lord Ayyappa, is considered by devotees to be celibate. But today, the top court said in a majority 4-1 judgment that the custom was almost like untouchability. The court said that all devotees are equal and that there cannot be any discrimination on the basis of gender, that rules based on biological characteristics will not muster constitution, that religion cannot be the cover to deny women the right to worship, to treat women as children of a lesser god is to blink at constitutional morality. The only woman on the 5-judge constitution bench, Justice Indu Malhotra, however, dissented, saying that the court should not interfere in religious practices.
At Kerala's Sabarimala Temple, one of the 3 most visited Hindu pilgrim centers in India, where over 1 crore devotees visit annually, a ban on the entry of women between 10 and 50 years of age is now illegal.
4 out of the 5 judges on the Constitution bench ruled that banning menstruating women violates right to equality. Several at the court, however, were quick to note the irony that the dissenting Justice Indu Malhotra was the only lady judge on the bench.
The majority judgment said that the social exclusion of women based on menstrual status is but a form of untouchability which is an anathema to constitutional values. Justice Chandrachud, in a concurring verdict, said that to treat women as children of a lesser god is to blink at the constitution itself.
It is. It's literally like if I touch you like this, I can't if you're a menstruating woman.
However, the dissenting judge says that religious customs and practices cannot be solely tested on the touchstone of Article 14 and the principles of rationality, and that in a secular polity, issues which are matters of deep religious faith and sentiment must not ordinarily be interfered with by courts. The 4 judges were stinging in their criticism of the patriarchal mindset, holding it responsible for the prejudices against women, saying that men cannot dominate the views of worship or deny women worship based on biological factors. But that very mindset was quickly displayed by the ex-president of the temple board.
My family, my daughters, they will not go to Sabarimala.
Is it your decision? Have you asked them, do they want to go? Or is it your decision?
My decision means they are my daughters.
They are above 18?
They are...
Above 18?
Maybe.
But is it your decision or is it your daughter's decision?
True believers, I'm sure they're not gonna enforce.
To women.
Why not pop a lady? These are all age-old customs and traditions. Why, if you ask me, why are we doing like this? It's been there.
This judgment brings a lot of sadness to me. In the sense, although I do welcome it, it has come too late for me. Okay, I'm over 50 now. I'm very eligible, according to their rules, that I can visit the temple now. But unfortunately, my health cannot permit a hike.
However, India's Minister for Women and Child welcomed the end of the ban on women at Sabarimala.
It's a good judgment because it opens up and brings the way forward for Hinduism to become even more all-inclusive and not the property of one type, one caste, one sex.
Well, for devotees, today's judgment has also been a matter of debate between faith versus law or reason, for that matter. And to give an excerpt from the judgment itself, it reflects that it is a universal truth that faith and religion do not countenance discrimination, but religious practices are sometimes seen as perpetuating patriarchy, thereby negating the basic tenets of faith and gender equality and rights. With Arunachalam Vaidyanathan and Nimisha Jaiswal in Delhi, Sneha Koshi from Thiruvananthapuram. And joining us on the show this evening, we have Trupti Desai, who is, of course, a very well-known activist who has been fighting for equal rights for women to worship in all places of worship, particularly in Sabarimala. Shobha Vishwanath is an entrepreneur, the founder of the Weavers Village. She's joining us tonight from Thiruvananthapuram. Also joining us, social activist AP Prajesh will also be joined by human rights lawyer Mihira Sood. Trupti Desai, to you first. How big a day is this for you? आपने जो इतनी लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी है for these rights, आज का दिन जब आप देखती हैं कि आज कोर्ट ने क्या-क्या बोला है about the rights of women and gender, आपका your first reaction to that?
सबसे पहले तो शनि शिंगणापुर का आंदोलन, हाजी अली दरगाह का आंदोलन, सभी जो है वो हाईकोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय और आज आया हुआ जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय है, ये बहुत ऐतिहासिक निर्णय है। महिलाओं के साथ जो भेदभाव किया जा रहा था, उनको जो इक्वालिटी का अधिकार मिला है, जो राइट टू प्रे का अधिकार मिला है, वो जो है वो इसमें छीना जा रहा था। और शबरीमाला मंदिर में जो है वो उनको अपवित्र ठहराया जा रहा था क्योंकि मेंस्ट्रुएशन पीरियड आ रहा है और उसमें हमारा यही कहना था कि मेंस्ट्रुएशन पीरियड कोई अपवित्र नहीं है, वो एक नेचुरल प्रोसेस है और उसका स्वीकार करना चाहिए। दूसरा कारण था कि अयप्पा स्वामी जी जो है वो ब्रह्मचारी है तो वहाँ पे महिलाएं नहीं चलती, तो ये सभी अंधश्रद्धा थी। महिलाओं को जो है वो धर्म के जो तथाकथित ठेकेदार है, वहाँ के जो पुजारी है या वहाँ के ट्रस्टी है, उनकी ये दादागिरी थी। तो ये दादागिरी को नष्ट करने के लिए आज जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जो फाइनल वर्डिक्ट दिया है, वो महिलाओं का आंदोलन का आवाज बुलंद इससे होता है और सभी महिलाओं को भेदभाव नहीं होना चाहिए, समानता आनी चाहिए। इसलिए आज जो जीत हुई है वो फिर से जो रूढ़ी परंपराएं हैं उनकी हार हुई है, संविधान की जीत हुई है और महिलाओं को जो है वो फिर से न्याय मिलकर महिलाओं को जो है वो जीत मिली है और महिलाएं आगे जा सकती है, उनका हक और अधिकार के लिए आवाज उठा सकती है। इसके लिए आज का फाइनल वर्डिक्ट जो है वो बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, इसलिए सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो है हम आभार मानते हैं।
तृप्ति में आपको तो पता ही होगा कि जस्टिस इंदु मल्होत्रा का जो जजमेंट था वो अलग था, उन्होंने डिसेंट किया था मेजॉरिटी जजमेंट से और उनका ये कहना था बेसिकली कि एक सेक्युलर डेमोक्रेसी में लोगों को फ्रीडम होना चाहिए टू प्रैक्टिस देयर रिलीजन, चाहे वो रैशनल है या नहीं है। आप उस पर क्या कहेंगी कि कोर्ट को, उनका कहना है कि कोर्ट को रिलीजन में और फेथ के मामले में इंटरफेयर नहीं करना चाहिए।
इंदु जी मल्होत्रा ने जो है वो इसमें विरोध किया है, इससे जो है वो आगे आ रहा है। तो मुझे ये कहना है कि धर्म के जो मेन व्यक्ति है वो कुछ निर्णय नहीं ला रहे थे, तो कोर्ट से यहाँ पे जो है वो इस एसोसिएशन को हो या हमारे जैसे कार्यकर्ता को हो, कोर्ट में आना पड़ा और कोर्ट ने जो निर्णय लिया है, हमें लगता है कि कोर्ट जो निर्णय कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बेंच ने निर्णय लिया है, ये संविधान को लेकर दिया है और धर्म से बड़ा संविधान है। आज संविधान ने दिया हुआ अधिकार का हनन हो रहा था। जिस गर्भ से अयप्पा स्वामी का जन्म हुआ है, जिस गर्भ से शनि भगवान का जन्म हुआ है, उसी माँ की प्रतिनिधित्व कर रही महिलाओं को जो है वो रोका जा रहा था। तो कोर्ट ने बहुत अच्छा डिसीजन दिया है। इंदु जी मल्होत्रा का जो कुछ कहना है, हमें उनको कहना है कि धर्म अलग है और ये हमारा हक और अधिकार जो है जो छीना जा रहा था, वही कोर्ट ने जो है वो आज निर्णय दिया है। और धर्म के जो लोग हैं उन्होंने आगे आकर डिसीजन नहीं लिया। 400-800 साल की जो परंपरा है, जो अभी गलत है 21वीं सेंचुरी में, उसमें बदलाव नहीं लाया, इसलिए हमें कोर्ट तक आना पड़ा। और आज कोर्ट ने जो निर्णय दिया है उसका स्वागत भी करना चाहिए। और इंदु जी मल्होत्रा जो है उन्होंने भी जो है वो इसमें परिवर्तन की सोच और हक और अधिकार की लड़ाई अगर उन्होंने देखी होती तो वो भी आज हमारे साथ पॉजिटिव होती।
ठीक है, तृप्ति हमारे साथ बने रहिए। Mihira, you're joining us here in the studio today. It is actually interesting, how this judgment has played out, and I do see a lot of people divided on this. That on one hand, even those who are sort of championing women's rights and all of that, they feel that on a larger principle, maybe Justice Indu Malhotra was right here, that this could open up the floodgates perhaps for the courts to pronounce judgments across religions. Do you share that concern, or do you feel that today what the bench did was the right thing to do?
I think that what the bench did today was absolutely the correct thing, and I think I disagree very strongly with what Justice Indu Malhotra has written in her dissent, and 4 points in particular where I feel that she doesn't really take her argument through. The first is where she says Article 14, that is the right to equality, cannot trample all over Article 25, that is the freedom of religion. But she doesn't answer the question of what about these women's freedom of religion. Freedom of religion is, after all, as Justice Chandrachud has written in his opinion as well, it's a right given to all individuals. It is not a right given to custodians of organized religious groups. So she's not answered in her dissent at all how these women entering the temple at all affects anybody else's right to worship, and why Article 14 and Article 25 cannot be read harmoniously in that manner. Secondly, she says the petitioners, they had no locus because they are not devotees of the deity at Sabarimala, and therefore they have no locus to file a writ petition, by which logic she is then questioning the entire institution of the public interest litigation. And that's an entirely then separate thing, and she doesn't really then go into her disagreement with the institution of PILs at all, which is precisely this, where somebody files on your behalf something that has been institutionalized in India for decades. Thirdly, I
think the argument she's making though is that this is a matter of religion, this is a matter of faith.
That's
whether
right,
it's rational or irrational, the courts should not be interfering in that.
Well, then she says she makes an exception for pernicious or oppressive practices like sati. But she doesn't go into the argument that the petitioners and the interveners are making in this case, that this is a pernicious and oppressive practice, that this is not a question of mere irrationality, this is a question of discrimination. So, she makes an exception for practices like sati, but doesn't tell us why this falls in a separate category and why that is discrimination. Because this is merely irrational. Whereas the entire argument that she should have addressed is that this is discrimination, this is not just a question of some irrational logic. And that again comes back to whose freedom of religion are we talking about? These women also have a freedom of religion. It is not just freedom of religion of temple trustees and ठेकेदार्स of various sects. That's not how it works. And lastly, and most importantly, the question that I think everybody who is defending this restriction needs to answer: why is celibacy, which is being argued as being the entire reason for this restriction and not impurity, pollution, discrimination or anything, but the celibate character of the deity, why is the burden of celibacy for men placed on women? Why can men not be expected to control their own celibacy?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a very well-made point. Shobha Vishwanath, you're an Ayappa devotee, and I saw you earlier speaking to Sneha on our channel. Tell us more about how you feel about this verdict. And as a devotee, would you go into Sabarimala today, into the sanctum?
When she was telling, these women, I am a devotee. I'm a Hindu believer. I'm a spiritual person, not that religious, but still I go to temple every week. Even visiting Sabarimala is there in my wish list. But I am ready to wait. I am sure like 80% or 90% of the women who really believe in this won't be going.
But that's fine. Why can't the 10% go?
That's what I believe.
Why can't the 10% go? 80% are happy to wait, then let them wait.
And then let them go. I don't have any problem. But that's still today, if they are saying that we want equal rights, okay, no, equal rights, they want to go. Tomorrow they'll say that, why can't we wear boots inside the temple? And day after tomorrow they'll bring up something else. These are not true believers. These are all rebels. I don't think we should, hurt people's sentiments. I don't think we should mix up femininity, this thing with religion. I don't think we should do that. Feminism with
Shobha, of course,
religion.
I think you're perfectly entitled to whatever religious beliefs you have, and however you want to practice.
We should look into
however you want to practice your faith, but. Should we not, all of us across religions, question those aspects of it which are discriminatory and have been discriminatory deliberately so in many cases, because it's a very patriarchal sort of setup that has been there for centuries. Should we not question those aspects of our religion?
Why do we need to? Why do we? If we want to question, okay, why not pauper woman? Why not Ustada woman? We should be questioning that as well. Why just Sabarimala?
Okay, well, Trupti, I just want to get Trupti's reaction to that. Trupti, you heard what Shobha was saying there. वो कह रही है कि she's a devotee and the others are not real devotees. I mean, that may not be fair. They may still be devotees, but they still may want to, go into the into the temple. But I just want to get Trupti's reaction to what you said, Trupti.
शोभा जी ने तो कहा कि हम अयप्पा स्वामी के डिवोटीज है, हम वेट करेंगे। शोभा जी बिल्कुल आप वेट कीजिए, लेकिन हमें जाना है तो हमें मत रोकिए, क्योंकि हम किसी धर्म के खिलाफ नहीं है, हम किसी भगवान के खिलाफ नहीं है, हम भी भगवान के भक्त है, हमारी भी भगवान के ऊपर श्रद्धा है, लेकिन जिनको जाना है उनका विरोध मत कीजिए। भगवान अयप्पा स्वामी जी जो है वो ब्रह्मचारी है, अयप्पा स्वामी जी
those are not true believers. Those are people who just want to show that I can do this. Just to prove a point, just to prove a point.
Why can't they prove that point? What's wrong if they want to prove a point?
तो जिनको जाना है वो जा सकते हैं और उसका निर्णय का स्वागत आपने करना चाहिए, और आपको अगर रुकना है तो रुकिए, हम पे ले जाएंगे, उसके बाद आपने प्रवेश करें।
That's what. No, these are women who just want to
जो जाना चाहता है,
I can do
whoever wants to go into the temple, it's their choice.
इसके लिए आपने स्वागत
बिल्कुल, Trupti, the point is, जैसे आप कह रही हैं कि जिनको मंदिर में जाना है, जिनको साबरीमाला टेम्पल में जाना है, it is their choice if they want to go. And it is also equally the choice of people like Shobha to not go. It is an opinion that you have, but at least now that there is no sort of rule that says that all women who are menstruating cannot go. It's the choice of those who want to and those who don't want to. And AP Prajesh, you are a social activist. How do you feel then about that? That women will have a choice now. There will be many who will still not want to go, but it's their option, their right to choose.
See, I will raise a simple question. Sabarimala is considered to be an ideal model for secularism. For decades, we are having this ritual called this particular activity where men are going to Sabarimala. Also, many are saying that Sabarimala is always against womanhood. How can you say that? See, thousands of women are going to Sabarimala. This particular temple has this particular ritual. So we are not having this kind of situation in all the temples. So this is not a case of discrimination. First of all, you have to change it. Coming to majority of the temples, if we have this kind of ritual or custom, then we can say that we are having a discrimination case. So the question of discrimination arises. Coming to Sabarimala, it's an ideal discipline mode for men. See, I would like to raise that there is a commando training institute in Belgaum. It's called high-level commando training, and men are only equipped for that particular training. So this is the question. Coming to rituals, coming to this particular activity, orientation for men, character formation, personality development, Sabarimala is considered to be the ideal place because it's like a refreshing mode for men in Kerala, not only in Kerala, in various parts of this nation. So this particular temple have this particular ritual. So why you guys are attacking Sabarimala? It's not the case of discrimination. This is the first point. Also, we are having certain protests against this particular verdict.
I do hope you heard the words of the Chief Justice of India and the rest of the Supreme Court today. I mean, forget what we are saying. You did hear what the Supreme Court said today, didn't you?
Yeah. We respect the judicial framework of this nation. We respect the verdict of Supreme Court, no doubt. But still, we will move forward with our review petition activities. Also, on October 1st week, we will go with the review petition. On October 15th and 16th, we are planning a peaceful protest in Pampa, like a Jellicut model. In Tamil Nadu, also, Supreme Court had made the verdict, and the youngsters of Tamil Nadu move forward with their culture. They fought for their culture and they won. So this kind of concept will also be adopted for the protection of Sabarimala also. Also, we are seeking help from other religious communities like Christianity, Islam, because they are attacking the sole concept. Sabarimala is an ideal model. See, secularism, when we go to Sabarimala, first we went to a mosque of power. We give respect to that particular concept. So why
But Mr.
we are
Prajesh,
attacking
may I remind you
Sabarimala?
what
This is
may I
the
remind
basic
you what the
question. It's an
Supreme Court
ideal
said
model
today, that
of
social
secularism, and
exclusion
thousands
of
women
women.
are visiting Sabarimala.
The Supreme Court said today the social exclusion of women based on their menstrual status is a form of untouchability. Maybe you need to change with the times. Why not give women the choice? Those who don't want to go will not go. Those who want to go will.
Adi Parashakti is considered to be the almighty God. Adi Parashakti is basically a woman. So how can you say that Hinduism or Sabarimala is against womanhood? People who are taking a stand against Sabarimala, their first point is Sabarimala is anti-woman. How can you substantiate that?
No,
this is my basic question to the entire panel.
Mihira.
Also to the Trupti Desai.
Why don't you answer any of the questions I've raised? One, don't women have the right to freedom of religion? Your Ready to Wait campaign is actually quite deceptively named, because it's not so much ready to wait as it is ready to force others to wait. Firstly, what about the freedom of religion of women devotees who want to go? Secondly,
hundreds and thousands of temples women can visit, women can make the rituals, they can pray, etc.
This is just whataboutery. You're not answering the question. You're only saying what about this temple, what about that mosque. You're not answering the question.
Basic common sense.
You're not answering the question. Whataboutery is not an answer. Secondly, whataboutery is not an answer. I'm asking you a question about this temple. You're telling me about various other temples does not change the fact that the practice here is discriminatory. Asking what about this and what about that is not an answer.
Mr. Prajesh?
The thing is, when we coming to the ritual of Sabarimala, I already mentioned in my statement that it's like a training process for men, like a purification, like that. We know certain activities are there. It's like a drilling activity. So men will take an oath.
You're not denying then that it is
discriminatory. Like a purification process.
You're not denying then that it is discriminatory. Why can't women undergo this process? Why can't women have the choice to decide whether or not to undergo?
In Trivandrum, there is a temple called Aatugal. There is a ritual called the Pongala.
Again, you are not answering my question. You are only asking what I am asking about Sabarimala. And let's be very clear about one thing. Let's be very clear about one thing. This judgment will apply to other temples as well. It's not as if it won't.
It will only apply to this thing. Shobha, can I ask you this? Just as we expect that everyone should respect, I think at the end of the day, your sentiments should be respected if you choose not to go. But would you respect those devotees who do choose to, who make that choice and say, yes, we will go inside?
These are, like I said, Hindu belief, this temple, we are not supposed to enter. We can. When we are a kid, we can. After 50 or 55, we can. It's not that we cannot enter, right? And these are all age-old customs, and that is why it is called tradition, culture. And there are a lot of temples where only we can enter, where men cannot enter. What about that? Now, why are we saying all these things? Why are we bringing all these things now? There are a lot of other things to look into, you know.
And you never found this discriminatory, you never found it, you never thought to question why women between the ages of 10 and 50 were being excluded.
Why are we not raising voice for...
I'm asking you about this. You never found it discriminatory that, you know, between the ages of 10 and 50, girls and women are not allowed into the temple? And if women choose to go now, would you respect their right to do so? Just as your right to not go would be respected?
It's their choice. It's their choice. But then I wouldn't. You know, I am sure like 90% of the women are like me. True devotees are like me.
But that's the thing. You've labeled those who make that choice as not
feel good.
You're saying you're the true devotee. I mean, you could both be devotees with sort of a different approach. I mean, you heard what the court said today. You know, at the end of the day, these are about
another thing is
the
going to come up, that is safety. Women's safety issue is going to come up, I'm sure.
And how is that?
You know,
why would women be unsafe?
You know, thousands of men are going. Thousands of men are going.
But these men are supposed to be celibate, so how are they unsafe?
In between them.
But these are all celibate men.
They're going to push and pull you. Why do you want to go to the temple? For peace of mind. You're going to get peace of mind?
But Shobha, these are all celibate men as per you. They are all undergoing this purification ritual. So why should women be unsafe?
Trupti, you know, you've been fighting this battle for a long time, और आज भी Supreme Court के verdict के बाद you can see how divided even women are on this. अभी भी मतलब काफ़ी लोगों को लगता है कि ये एक एज ओल्ड कस्टम है, ट्रेडिशन है, हम इसको क्वेश्चन नहीं कर सकते हैं. आप उनको क्या कहेंगी आज?
ये जो ट्रेडिशन है, बाकी जो हमें विरोध कर रहे हैं सबको कहना चाहूंगी कि ट्रेडिशन जो 400, 500, 1000 साल की परंपराएं है वो अभी 21st सेंचुरी में हम सहन नहीं करेंगे. आपने जो कहा कि हम वहाँ पे नहीं जाएंगे, आपको तो जाना चाहिए क्योंकि आप अयप्पा की डिवोटीज है और वहाँ पे भगवान का दर्शन लेने के लिए जो निर्णय हुआ है उसका स्वागत करना चाहिए. और 21st सेंचुरी में आप जो है वो अभी महिलाएं होकर आगे आ रही है. अगर वैसी फिर सिस्टम या जो परंपराएं है वो हम ये करें अभी 21वीं सदी में ये करेंगे तो फिर सती प्रथा का भी अनुकरण करना चाहिए. जो केश मुंडन की प्रथा थी वो भी फिर आएगी, उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करो, ऐसे आप बोलेंगे तो हम ये बिल्कुल नहीं सहन करेंगे क्योंकि अभी 21st सेंचुरी में महिलाएं जो है वो चांद पर जाकर आई है, ओलंपिक में गोल्ड मेडल ला रही है, महिलाएं जो पुलिस ऑफिसर है, महिलाएं जो है वो अभी राष्ट्रपति बन चुकी है. तो परिवर्तन हो रहा है, नई सोच आ रही है और कोर्ट ने यही कहा है कि ये जो आप विरोध कर रहे हैं, आप जैसों की मानसिकता जो है वो चेंज करनी चाहिए. और नहीं दीजिए, आपको ये कहना है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का निर्णय आएगा, बिल्कुल धर्म से बड़ा जो है वो संविधान है, लेकिन हमें भी ये जो अच्छे निर्णय आ रहे हैं, परिवर्तन के निर्णय आ रहे हैं, उसका अवेयरनेस भी जो है वो सभी जगह करना चाहिए. ये जब हम अवेयरनेस करेंगे तो आज का आंदोलन का जो निर्णय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने दिया है उसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जो है वो मतलब ग्रामीण जो एरियाज है वहाँ पे भी होगा, जो शहरी एरियाज है वहाँ पे भी होगा. और भगवान के बारे में कुछ अंधश्रद्धाएं हैं, कुछ गलत रूढ़ी परंपराएं जो है वो उसमें बदलाव लाने की जो सोच है, उनको अगर हम अवेयरनेस में हम ये किस लिए कर रहे हैं, हमारे हक और अधिकार के लिए.
बिल्कुल, but I think Trupti also at the end of the day, people are entitled to have a different point of view.
हमें विरोध कर रहे हैं,
no,
वो भी इसका जल्द से जल्द स्वागत भी करेंगे.
Sure, so I think people are entitled to have a different point of view on this, and ultimately, at least what the Supreme Court has done is given women that choice now to decide on their own whether they want to go or not. That was a choice that didn't exist before, which is why this custom was considered by many as discriminatory. That is what the Supreme Court has said today, likening it to untouchability. It is a matter of faith for many thousands of others, so it is up to them to decide how they want to approach this from here on. So the next few weeks should be interesting. What is going to happen at the Sabarimala Temple? Will we see more women actually going to the temple in the next few weeks? We'll keep an eye on that. Thank you very much to our panel for joining us tonight.